Hello everyone. Just checking we've got sound, and we do. Awesome. Hi guys, it's me, Cloudy Galvez, and we're back with Songwriting 101. So, in our last episodes, we were talking about chromaticism. Big scary word that I obviously can't. So we don't need to. You can go away. So chromaticism basically is talking about notes that are next door neighbors, right? We talked about this last time. Whoop, there's a piano. So next door neighbors, we've got C to D sharp, C to C sharp, C sharp to D, D sharp to D, D sharp to E, E, F, F, F sharp. All those notes are right next to each other. There's literally 0 notes in between them. And that's what chromaticism is. So our challenge today is to write a song that features chromaticism really heavily. And I'm going to do a bit of a Blue Peter on you because here is one I wrote earlier. So first of all, we got a verse part, which is fun because it's not only chromatic, but it's then also harmonized. So we start off with a nice... Let's turn that up so you can hear it. So we start off, we got a nice E flat 9, E flat major 9. Then we get to an F major 9, then back to E flat. Here's the chromatic bit: E flat 9, D minor 9, and then C sharp. So we're going from E flat to D flat, C sharp, whatever you want to call it. So that's our chromatic part there. And I decided to record this and add a little bit of a vocal over the top, and there is a drum part, but we're going to mute that out for now because it's just programming it still. So this is what it sounds like with the vocal part on top. Can you find a way through mine? Just about hear that okay? So here's our E flat. Can you see what I need just to get through this? There's our chromatic bit. I really don't think I should try. I really don't think I should try to do things anymore. So that's where we got to with that. We've got the chromatic part. I find so nice to harmonize these things up. In the example that I showed you before, when we were talking about Uptown Funk and how he has got like the chromatic part, but it's also interesting because it's offbeat. You have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Right? So that kind of added this extra layer of interest to the chromaticism, because sometimes if it's just kind of out there, it's hard to fit in. And that's why I love to harmonize things, because that just makes everything a little bit nicer for your ear. So when I was thinking about harmonizing this, I was just naturally working in 9s because the first chord I found was an E flat major 9. Right? So then we move up again, back down to E flat, and it just made sense to carry on in the 9s to make the chromaticism work. And with those upper extensions there, for those of you who don't know what a 9 is, we've basically got 3 chord tones usually in a triad, right? So in E flat, it's going to be E flat, G, and B flat. And then if you keep going up in thirds, you start to get extensions. So if you go up a third from B flat, you're going to get to D. That's your major 7. Go up again, you're going to get to F. And that's going to be the major 9 of E flat. So we're basically adding a third and then another third onto the end of our triads there to make them into 9s. And because it makes then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chord tones per chord, we then have a much more interesting soundscape, and it's easier to blend things in together, because if I just went regular, it's not that it doesn't work, because it does, but it's more that it lacks a bit of interest. And I feel like that over and over again in a verse structure is not going to be as interesting as if we put that 9 on the end. because you get added bits of chromaticism on top when you have like extra harmonies that go down this chromatic bit from the E flat 9. We have the D and the F in there. Then as you take it down the step to the D minor 9, basically the top note, the highest note that you hear, is doing a chromatic walk down as well as most of the other ones. So we're getting an F, E to E flat, and E flat, D to D flat. So we're getting like that. So that's a really interesting polarized harmony there. We're basically working a major second above ourselves, a ninth above ourselves. Very interesting. So that gives the whole thing a little bit more texture, a bit more spice. So then when it came to writing a chorus, this was where I thought, okay, we need more obvious chromaticism this time, because it's there in our verse for sure, we've got it, but what about if I make my left hand do a little bit of movement? So what I've started with is, so I'm doing a C minor chord there, C minor 9. So this time my left hand's going to kind of move around. So at first I thought, I'll just go 1 to 5, right? C to G. And then I was going to think, okay, well, what if I move up to a D minor 9 again? I could go use chromaticism to get there. I could go, all right, so that's a little bit of chromaticism from C to D flat to D. Right, so the whole thing, when we play that together, sounds like this. Right? So there's a bit of chromaticism there. Make it really, really obvious what we're doing. And then I thought, I need something on the end of that to bring it back down again. So I've gone for a little walk down around a G minor 7. So basically I've got C, and my left hand's going C, B flat, A, and then I'm going to do an A flat chord, right? And then I've gone down and I've done, my left hand's doing G, but my right hand is doing an inverted E flat there. So I get this whole nice bit of chromaticism. That little bit there is a truly chromatic walk down. We've got 4 notes there. So we've got, and then finish it off with a nice F dominant 7 this time. And that has a bluesy sound that rings out, but also it leaves us open. We can go back and do our C minor if we want, or from the F dominant 7, because it's got the E flat is the dominant 7 of F, right? Because it's got that, we can go back now and do our first chord of the verse, which is an E flat major 9. And it doesn't sound terrible. The stuff in between, the jump from those 2 chords sounds natural. So it works out. So what does this sound like with a vocal over the top of it? Well, my vocal that I put in there, I just recorded just as I had the ideas. I haven't mixed it or done anything to it. But those of you that know me know that I love a good choir. I love a good big stacks of harmony. That's what I like. So that's what I've done. Let's check it out, how it sounds with a chorus. Don't you be the reason why I am left in the rain. Come on over with the breeze. When would you wake up and see that we're ready for change? Come on over Christmas sky. Don't you be the reason why I am left in the rain. Come on over with the breeze. When will you wake up and see that we're ready for change? So I just added an extra bar around the the E flat. So we've come from this F7 to the E flat 9, and then an extra bar around that E flat 9, just to readjust the ear, so that then when we come back in for the verse, it doesn't sound quite like jumpy. We've had enough time to readjust, to decompress. After that chorus, you've got a fun little whatever kind of riffy thing. I can't remember exactly what it is because I just kind of improvised it. But there's that kind of thing to slow everything down, to just really make you pause, breathe, and get yourself ready for the verse that comes in next, which I haven't recorded a vocal for because I thought, you know what, let me leave that open. I'll see if one of my musical friends wants to collaborate on this with me. So I think sometimes that's good, is to leave enough space for other people to come in and help the vision of the track and just bring some new eyes, new inspiration, new perspective, and all that fun stuff. So that is it for today. That is how we used chromaticism in our song. But the only thing that we haven't actually answered is, how do you make vocal harmonies over such a chromatic riff, especially when you've got a moving part in your left hand? It's almost like a walking bass line. So you've got a lot of movement. Right? That's a lot of movement that you have to do with your left hand there. So it would be really easy to have harmonies kind of sounding cluttered and like clashing with the chromatic notes that you've got there, because they're not all uniform to the key signature there at all, because that's what chromaticism is, right? So join me tomorrow when I'll be going live again, and we'll still work with this song, but we're just going to take a little look on how I stacked those vocal parts up, and what intervals we used there, and basically just take a look and see how I did that and how you could do that too. So I hope that you take on this writing challenge, get a song ready with your chromaticism. And as always, if you have any questions or confused about anything that we've gone through today, you can always hit me up on social media, or you can download one of my books. I do have books out on alpinehq.com, so you can go and they get them for free. The one that talks about chromaticism and modes and things like that, they're a series called Making Modes Accessible. You can get them both for free until the 27th of December. So it's coming up soon. Of December? What? Of September. I'm losing my brain. The 27th of September is when the price goes up. So go grab all that knowledge for free, and I will catch you next time. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.